Good morning. And welcome to the United States House of Representatives. Today, we have an exciting opportunity to enact legislation that will impact the shape of our country's future. Over the course of the past 5 days, we have debated issues of critical national importance. You have written and debated amendments, developed strategies for passage of your amendment, or position on one bill and lobbied others, attempting to persuade them to side with your point of view. Our diligence culminates in this morning's simulation. This is our simulation, our opportunity to make Congress and politics what we think it ought to be. Today, we will be addressing a bill of domestic significance, focusing on a key national issue, immigration. In this simulation, we will learn about leadership as well as legislation dealing with our nation's safety, and also about the roles we will play as participants in our democratic process. Before we begin, let me explain how we will operate this morning. We are all full-fledged members of the House of Representatives. As such, our primary responsibility is to this legislative body, not to any particular caucus group or committee. As members of the House, it is our responsibility to maintain decorum. That means several things. First, we must refer to our colleagues as gentlemen and gentlelady, and you must refer to me as Mr. Speaker. Second, there will be no insulting or derogatory remarks. You are free to argue ideas, but you may not attack a person. Third, you must remain quiet at all times when a colleague is speaking. Fourth, gentlemen, if you wish to speak from the floor, you must wear a jacket, and ladies must remain in full professional dress. Finally, we must show respect for all. As each speaker will only have 1 minute, I strongly discourage the asking of questions. Asking questions takes up too much time. For the same reason, I would also like to discourage points of order. Let me explain what they are. Points of order are raised to me as a speaker and are about the process of considering the bill. This morning, I serve as an impartial chair, and all points of order must relate to parliamentary procedure. They are not about the substance of our bill. Should you have a parliamentary question, simply rise on a point of order and state your point. Above all else, this morning, let's have fun and learn something about the process. I encourage you to give your colleagues on both sides of the aisle applause after their speeches. Let's have a good time, but keep in mind our responsibility to decorum. We will begin with the debate on H.R. 1. After brief remarks from both parties' leadership, 16 general debate speakers, 8 from each party, which have been pre-designated by the leadership, we will speak on the main points of the bill. I will call on alternating speakers from each party, with the Democratic Party always speaking first. After the general debate period, we will move into the amendment phase. There will be one speech for and one speech against each amendment. Votes will be taken immediately following debate on each amendment. Remember that each amendment should be called by its letter. Following the amendment phase, we will move into floor debate. This is your opportunity to comment on the bill as amended, after you know which amendments have passed and been incorporated into the bill. During floor debate, there will be 5 speakers per side. The floor debate period will last no longer than 10 minutes. If one side has no speaker, the floor debate period ends. After the final vote on the bill as amended, we will adjourn. I encourage all of you to think about the leadership goals you set at the beginning of the conference. Push yourself to speak today if you have never spoken before a large group. The clerk, Abby Reisinger, from Ohio, will keep time. 2 taps of my gavel indicates that time is about to wrap up. You have 10 seconds remaining. This does not mean that you should stop talking, but it does mean that you should begin to conclude your remarks. When your time has elapsed, I will bang my gavel and say the speaker's time has expired. You can yield the floor to a colleague. To do this, simply raise your hand without standing. Those standing will not be considered. Once called upon, please state that you wish to yield the floor to your colleague. I will ask for the state from which the person to whom you wish to yield resides. To yield, it is not necessary to come to the lectern. On the issue of lecterns, the Democratic Party uses the lectern to my right, and the Republican Party uses the lectern to my left. On that note, it is my privilege this morning to welcome you to the United States House of Representatives. At this time, will all representatives-elects please rise and repeat after me. After I say the word, please state your name. Everyone can rise. So you guys need to say your name after I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign or domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter, so help me God. Thank you. You may be seated.
Not getting the word.
The House will be in order. The rule pertaining to H.R. 1 has been agreed